All right. So there's a couple of spirits who want to talk through you. So
Yeah,
let's
I get
grab
this
them.
young guy who wanted to talk just before the break.
Yeah.
He was actually a student. He's just actually quite. I'm quite thankful that he's being able to talk to you.
Yeah.
He's come to the realization that he's actually just dead.
Yeah. Does he realise when he passed?
Well, the incident, I've seen how it passed. Yes,
Yeah. Would you like to describe that a little, or?
he was travelling. When I was travelling at night on the bike,
On a motorbike?
I got T-intersected
Yeah.
and I was slung and just got crushed.
Yeah. But you didn't realise at the time you were crushed?
No,
No.
I wasn't even aware I was dead.
Yeah.
I feel it's strange that no one's acknowledging me.
Yeah.
Been trying to talk to everyone.
Did you notice your own body when that happened, or did you still feel you were in your physical body even though you no longer had your physical body with you?
I felt I was still me.
Yeah.
There's nothing different.
Yeah.
Other than I am more hazier.
Yeah.
But I attributed that to... Now I attribute it to being intoxicated.
Right. So you were riding the motorbike, drunk,
Coming home.
coming home. Yeah.
From the pluck.
From the
From Plaka.
Plaka. And, yeah. And what, so you lived in Athens, or? Yeah. Yep.
Studying.
Studying. Yeah. And so how long ago did that occur? What was your name? Can you tell me your name?
It's not coming.
No, no worries. So how long ago did you pass, now that you look at it, when you had that accident? How long ago was that?
A year and 17 days.
Yeah, no worries. And in that time, you hadn't really realised until just recently that you had actually passed.
That's right.
So what did you spend your time doing?
There's so many people.
Yeah.
I met all these new friends.
Yeah. All people who had passed too, now that you realise it, or they don't realise they'd passed, though?
None of us realise that we've passed.
Yeah.
It's just this great commotion yesterday, and I had to explore and follow these people.
Which people did you explore?
Some of the people here.
Yeah. And when you said a great commotion, what do you mean by a commotion?
All these people were looking at these people. They can talk to us.
Ah, okay.
They're different.
Yeah.
I was entranced
Yeah.
with the archaeological work I was doing.
Ah, okay.
I thought I'd graduated.
Right. So you were attracted to Anto when he went to the Parthenon, to the Acropolis, or?
To the others,
Yeah. Okay.
it's just they weren't being receptive
Yeah.
to my acknowledgement,
Yeah.
to Dionysus,
Yeah. Yeah.
to the long-haired guy, fellow.
Long-haired fellow. That's Igor, his name.
Igor,
That's
yes.
it. Yeah.
I get a T, it's confusing between T and D, but similar to your name. Dimitris, yeah. Yes.
Do you know him?
No, but he visited me last night.
Right. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yep.
I was at your grave.
Can we have a mic down here? Wherever the
You
mic
have-
is. No, it's the other mic. We need to hear.
I was at your grave last night on my sleep. There were a lot of friend of yours, and perhaps a lady about 45 was your mom.
So this is how we are confused. Because at times you speak to us and at times you don't.
Right.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people over your grave, though.
we were sharing a discussion about the love of motorbikes.
Which is what we were starting to discuss with.
And how powerful we feel.
Yeah, yeah.
And how all the women like, and how attractive we feel to women.
To women riding a bike.
To young girls.
Because it's nice and cool.
Mm.
Yeah. And can I then just talk about a little with you? Like, so you spent a lot of time in the last year just basically feeling that you weren't dead and talking to other spirits and trying to talk to some people who you knew, but not having much success talking to the people who you knew. Is that how it was?
That's correct.
Yeah.
My family around.
Yeah.
There's new family members
That have already passed that
that
you
already
now met.
passed that are here.
Yeah.
There's more people. I'm aware of more people.
Yeah.
The population is quite immense.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is the reason why you wanted to have a talk with us then?
There are a number of points you'd raised,
Yeah.
and I was curious as to where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Now that I know I'm dead, I can see there's all these people here, but I'm curious.
Yeah. Do many of the people with you know that they're dead?
No.
No. And when you talk to them about that, have you tried talking to them about that?
I can start to see the difference
Yeah.
in their colour.
Can you see too how, like, the people who are alive on Earth, they have like different type of body than what you have, that you can see?
Yes.
You can see through it.
I've not been willing to see how I really look like.
Yeah.
I've been looking outward.
Yeah. Looking at everyone else and not
Mm.
seeing the contrast between yourself and everyone else.
Mm.
Mm.
The chains that you spoke of, Mary.
Why do you have shame?
Why do you have?
Shame. A feeling of shame.
I'm not aware of my feelings. It is only
You want to hide.
the visualizations that I'm connected to at this point.
You're hiding.
If you can just stop for a moment, because you're distressing him a bit, and we just need to get back
Yeah,
on
he's
track.
disconnecting.
Yeah.
He's feeling judged.
Feeling judged and attacked. Yeah, and that doesn't help. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd love to discuss with you about what you can do from here. Would that be okay with you? Like,
Please.
yeah. What were your beliefs on Earth? Did you have any firm beliefs about what happened when you died? Did you think that what happened when you die, you're just dead?
I was a great believer of gods, many gods,
Yeah.
and mythology.
Yeah. So you sort of believe sort of the old Greek mythology type.
And there are
beliefs.
many individuals here who believe that.
Yep.
There are so many individuals here that are from that era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some of them might even be the gods that you refer to.
That's right. And they are around the monuments that we are working on.
That's right. Yeah. Well, every one of those people are just earthbound spirits. So they are just spirits who are yet to really understand that they've died or passed, or some of them do understand they've died and passed, but they're yet to really leave the earth condition. And my suggestion to you is to not follow that course of action, because you will remain here for many, many years and can actually remain for many centuries or even thousands of years on the earth in that condition. My suggestion is to begin to investigate the fact that there is a much bigger spirit world than what you currently realise. And the spirit world is made up of such a thing as, it's made up of different, you could call them different levels of love. And each level of love can be obtained by you progressing in love. And as you progress in love, you can enter different, what many spirits call spheres, or you could just think of them as many different locations, each of them happier and brighter than the last. And so if you keep yourself locked up in the condition where you currently are and don't decide to progress with love, then what happens is you won't ever experience these beautiful, happy locations. at the moment, the location that you are in is very similar to the location you were in when you're on Earth, right? In the sense that it has similar surroundings, similar types of people. There's a lot of pain as well as happiness, some happiness, a lot of pain. And you don't have to continue in a place like that for the rest of your life. You can actually grow into a place of more love. Would you like to know how to do that?
There is a lot that you are saying. I have been attracted to these wonderful people that I've always dreamt of meeting.
Yeah.
And I can see that they are quite sad.
Yeah. You mean the wonderful people who are like the gods of the old...
The ones who are teaching everyone around us.
Yes, yeah. And in reality, they're not as developed as you would have liked to have believed them to be.
No, and
Yeah.
I'm quite curious as to why there are so many individuals verbally angry at each other.
Yeah.
There was a division of line between each other
Well,
in front of you.
Yep.
So why are they so angry in front of you? You speak of love, but they are in so much pain and angry.
Which people are you referring to now?
The ones around that were around previously. When I was wanting to connect, to talk to you earlier.
Yes, yes. The spirits who were around me, who when you wanted to talk to me, they were very angry.
They were very angry.
Yes.
So if you talk about love,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that not that they are connecting to love?
Well, you see, a lot of people don't want to connect to love for a start, and a lot of people want to retain their anger. You see, one of the things that we need to learn when we pass into the spirit world is that if I'm not willing to feel my own pain, then what I will probably do is be angry with other people. And so what happens a lot with me in my relationship with spirits around me is that I'm talking to the spirits and saying to them, you need to feel your own pain. Stop blaming other people for your own pain and so forth. And many of the spirits around me then get upset with me because I'm saying that to them, even though what I'm saying to them is the truth about how they can progress. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the more truth you speak, the more angry everyone gets. And that's only because they don't want to feel their sadness. Yeah.
There is no voice for us here. It is just talking about the old.
Yeah. Unfortunately, many times we'll be attracted to a location where, if we didn't have a life where we talked about much other than, day-to-day life, then when we pass into the spirit world, we still continue to talk about day-to-day life. We don't talk about anything deeper. We don't go and investigate anything deeper. And my suggestion to you is to start investigating deeper things. Can I make a basic comment about the spirit world that's really important for you to understand? And that is that any person who is brighter than you in their spirit body, that person also knows more than you about the spirit world.
So is this not the spirit world?
No, where you are currently is still earthbound. So where you are currently is actually connected to the earth, living on the earth with other spirits who are connected to the earth and living on the earth, and you're not yet left the earth. So you are yet to really be in the spirit world, or in heaven, as you can think about it. There are parts of the spirit world that feel like the hells, and there's parts of the spirit world that feel like heaven, and there's many parts in between. And each part in between is a different level of love. And so the important thing for you to understand is if a spirit is brighter than you are, then that spirit knows more about love than you do. Does that make sense? And because of that, they're worth listening to. Now, can I show you the conditions of brightness of different spirits, just so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about? What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask one of my celestial spirit friends to come to you.
Oh.
You see how bright they are and how happy they look?
But I don't feel happy.
No, I know you don't feel happy. The key is just to feel your feelings still. It's okay to cry. And just feel your feelings. But you see that spirit is very happy and very bright. You see that? Now that spirit knows a lot more than you do about the spirit world. And that spirit can help you become like they are. See how bright they are?
But all they're doing is making me feel pain.
They're making you feel pain because of the contrast between yourself and them. What I'm going to get them to do now is to tone down their brightness so that you feel more comfortable. Can you feel more comfortable now? See them toning down their brightness? Can you see that? They have control over that. You feel more comfortable now?
Don't look like me. He's very young.
He's very young. How did he die?
He's too young.
He might look too young, but how did he die?
He also died through an accident.
Through a vehicle accident.
He got crushed by a truck.
By a truck, yeah. Yeah. Now, when he passed, he was in a very similar condition to you. Yeah? But now, if we let him go back to his normal brightness, can you see? It would tone it down again so it doesn't feel as painful for you. Can you see the difference? Can you see that he must have learnt how to progress, mustn't he? He must have learned how to work through all the different things that he needed to work through in order to grow. So my suggestion is if you listen to him, he'll be able to tell you many things and he can become a good friend for you. And he can tell you many things about the truth about how to progress in the spirit world.
How does he do this?
How does he do what?
There's too many questions.
I can answer some of them and then he'll be able to answer many of them for you.
He's talking to me in my own language.
Yes?
But he speaks in many languages.
That's correct. He knows every language of the earth.
He knows more about archaeology and history
Than you do.
than I do.
Exactly. Yeah.
More than the gods.
More than the gods who think they know more, yeah. Yeah. That's right. So how did he get all that knowledge and information? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
How did he create this space around me?
A place of protection around you. That's just by his presence.
I can see everyone angry, but no one is touching me.
Yeah. Well, he's able to communicate with you directly now, and because of your willingness to communicate with him, he's able to surround you with some protection so that we're not bothered by the other angry spirits.
He says, I'm a seeker of truth.
Yeah. This is why you've investigated archaeology, isn't it? You think about it. Wasn't the reason why you investigated archaeology because you wanted to discover the truth about history?
But it's history that holds us. He's saying it's the history that holds us here.
Exactly. It's your desire to connect to the history rather than to understand what really happened. It's an emotion.
He's also saying, he talks quite quickly.
Yeah, well, he puts packets of thoughts into you, doesn't he?
It's like just a form stream of lights are coming at me.
Yeah.
And then
with lots of information and pictures.
I have all this information. I cannot talk to him that way, but
no, but he can talk to you that way.
So every question's being answered.
Yeah. Can you see you don't really need to ask me any more questions?
Other than to say, I'm so aware. Wow. I'm so aware that the people on earth around here are so open to us. And that is why we are so connected to them.
That's correct.
We do not feel that we've passed because they sense that we are here.
Yeah. And this is something that is quite sort of unique in Greece in a lot of ways, in that there's a lot of history here with regard to spirits and spirit communication and all of these kind of things. There's so much that there's very little injury in most Greek people towards communicating with spirits. And as a result of that, most Greek people do feel the influence of spirits in their day-to-day life quite markedly. And as a result of that, you also feel like you're still on earth talking to them, but unfortunately not progressing in the spirit world where you could be progressing to. Does that make sense?
We have so much interaction,
Yep.
and now I understand it is at certain times.
That's right. Yeah,
But I'm also able to talk through them,
that's great.
and I wasn't aware that I was doing that.
Well, most
But I
people...
felt connected to them.
Yeah, most people are so connected with you at times. Particularly, you think of most of the people who go to visit the Acropolis, for example. Most of them, in that moment, are open to receiving information from you. Yeah, and then when they walk away from the Acropolis and they go back to their day-to-day lives, they're a bit less open, aren't they? Then to receive information from you.
I've been helping a lot of people who have asked questions.
That's right.
I've helped people. I've been studying through people.
Yeah, yeah,
Sat exams.
yeah.
Oh,
There you go. No wonder you feel like you've got your degree.
I realise how rapidly I've learnt.
Yeah, yeah. But can you see that you've only still learnt about the earth and the physical part of the earth? Can you see you haven't really yet learnt about the soul and love and other things that can help you grow and have the happiness that the spirit who is now talking to you has?
My feelings have never been important.
Exactly.
And all the illustration I'm getting is to connect to my feelings.
That's correct. And one thing you're going to need to allow yourself to do is allow the tears to flow and allow yourself to connect to the different types of grief you feel. And the more you allow that to occur, and if you call upon God, then there is, by the way, only one God.
That is hard to conceive.
There's not lots of gods, but there's only one God. But God has the ability to give you her love.
I'm quite angered.
Yep. What about?
The fact that all these people who claim to have been God
Are just people.
are just people.
Yeah.
And this young friend in front of me
He looks more like a God, doesn't he?
is much more developed.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when we hear the truth, we're so upset that we were told the error. Does that make sense? And all we need to do is grieve that we were told the error. And grieve that we believed it.
I'm also starting to feel quite angry at my family.
Why is that?
Because they never taught me this.
Well, if you look at them now, when you get the chance, you'll get the chance to go and visit them again and look at them and re-look at them with what you know now.
Do I have to return?
You don't have to know, but you will get the chance if you want it. And when you look at them, you'll notice that actually there's nothing in them that caused them to be able to teach you anything other than what they already taught you.
My friend says that once I have learnt how to be compassionate, I will feel my desires to help.
Not only that, you will actually be in a position where you can teach your family rather than relying on your family teaching you. You see, we can't really teach somebody unless we've learned the truth ourselves.
I'm drawn
Should
by
we
the peace of this person, and I wish to go.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
To you both.
Yep. You're going to go for a walk. Is there any questions that any of you would like to ask about that? Katerina?
I was wondering, he said that at times they feel that people are open.
Yep.
And you mentioned something about the ruins. Does it have to do the location we are, or?
Yeah, what happens in his case, he feels a rapport with anybody who's interested in archaeology, anybody who's interested in the gods, anybody who's interested in Greek mythology. Someone like Panos back there, who is interested in all those things, right? So he feels drawn to all of those things. So when somebody goes to visit the Acropolis, for example, like we did with Panos yesterday, what happens is he feels attracted to that kind of a person who visits, you see. Because every person who visits a location like that generally has a reason for doing so. And so what he does, and then he's able to communicate with them, like, and feel them and communicate with them and get some response in that state. But when they walk back to their normal day-to-day life, then he can't communicate with them anymore. So there's a bit of confusion of why can I talk to them then and I can't talk to them then, and they don't hear me then but they hear me then, and so forth.
But like a tourist that goes there, that is interested,
Mm-hmm.
when he says he communicates, does he just send thoughts or ideas and then the person just receives the thought and that is conceived as communication?
Yes.
Because I would figure any other person that's not open to their emotions, they would not know how they see.
No, he just transmits thoughts and then receive thoughts and so forth.
So the person on earth would actually not know that it's actual communication with the
Most of them
spirit.
don't, no, but some of them do, yeah. So how many people visit the Acropolis, for example, and feel like, I can feel the people who are here. You know, there used to be this person and there used to be that person. They don't realise that at that very moment they're talking to those particular spirits. Many people who visit the Acropolis start reflecting upon Greek mythology, the gods of Greek mythology, for example. Why is that? Because those gods of Greek mythology are actually spirits who have passed, who are actually still present at the location. And in the case of the Acropolis, like, how many thousands of people visit that place a day? Maybe 10 to 20,000 people probably a day easily visit that location. So they have an opportunity to connect with thousands and thousands of people in the course of one day.
So then the desire to remain earthbound like he was is actually established before the person dies? Like what sends him to earthbound or to the spirit location that they're supposed to go?
No, it's more the fact that after they pass, they don't know anything about passing. They don't understand that they've passed. And on top of that, they don't understand that they're in spirit world. They don't understand they're in a spirit body. And so they feel attracted to their day-to-day life just as if they were here on earth.
And
That's all.
it's very likely that there's some investment in maintaining that. You know, like Dionysus, picked up on some shame that he was suppressing.
Yep.
And so that's sort of like an investment in him staying here. Like he, as he starts to shift from this, he's going to be confronted with a lot of emotions. And it's like a lot of us, you know, I'll just watch another show on telly because I don't actually want to feel anything.
No. I don't want to even feel that I'm tired.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
So it's not a predetermined thing that, like, I'm deciding before I pass that I will pass and
Yeah, no. Nothing that's
go there because I don't want to go further up. It's
Yes.
just
It's very much based on the emotions of the moment.
It's a child calling from the street.
that was Katerina's son.
So what attracted him, since he was like yesterday, let's say, until yesterday for more than a year at the Acropolis, to here? I mean, was it maybe because you guys were running around and he felt like, oh, something I can learn from them? Or what made him come here today?
How many others went to the Acropolis yesterday?
Okay.
So, you know, it could have been any one of us that he was attracted to.
Okay, but
He said he was attracted to Igor.
yeah, but it has to do with an attraction to a person that happened to be there.
Yes, and
that he then
usually,
followed.
Yeah.
yes, usually there's also a similarity in age, a similarity in emotions. So, you know, he may have similar emotional feelings that Igor has,
Okay.
and so forth, you know, that causes the attraction to Igor specifically.
Also, yesterday we did have a discussion with Panos about the fact that it's likely that there's many spirits with him who have similar passions and
Yeah.
Yeah.
encourage his
also-
passion. So maybe, you know, they hear some of that as well. It's
We also
like-
had a discussion about the Greek gods and their
Yeah.
conditions and
Okay.
Yeah.
and
So-
you know where they were at, and many of them being still earthbound, and just people who have passed, and all of that stuff as well. So there was a lot of information being discussed during our visit there, and of course, all of the others who visited, there would have been different things being discussed, and all of these things create an attraction,
Okay.
for that particular person.
And then he just finds himself in a surrounding like here all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And of course, it was a hard surrounding for him because there were also quite a lot of very rageful women
Yeah.
here earlier. who have sort of lightened up now, and their influence is lessened. But he felt that influence quite strongly, so he felt quite afraid of. He also felt quite afraid of the people who were in the spirit world who were angry with me, and so that's why he asked the question about and was confused about why there were so many people angry with me when I only talk about love. So he could see those spirits that are in the spirit world as well.
Cool, thank you.
Just thought it would be good to reflect on this exchange here that happened, and just about speaking with spirits and the way that you approach that, because
With Dionysus,
the
key thing to remember is to
for everyone. I feel it's a good
is to be very careful of the feelings of judgment we feel, or a feeling of wanting the other person to get to their emotion. This is a very damaging thing that we do to each other. We want to be very, very careful that we connect at the point of contact rather than at a different point. So do you understand what I mean by that?
The way they approach us, that's their point of contact. So often, we can feel the emotion. Like the young children that were with you before, and I could feel the feeling that they have a fear of loss and confusion. But I can feel that and know that about who I'm speaking with, but I might not confront them with that immediately, because I want to give them some more information. Yeah, just some more information about who I am, what's the process we're entering, because they're afraid of confusion. If I just confuse them suddenly, it's a disaster.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it's a great
right.
way to learn.
Yeah.
I feel this is very valuable.
That's the beauty of these interactions, is that we can learn a lot through them, not only about the spirit world, but also how to interact with them.
And by the way, they were not children. They were afraid, and they appeared like this.
They shrunk like children.
Yeah, good.
And these people who come to us we need to have a lot of compassion and understanding for them. And one of the ways we do that is by getting their point of contact with us, and then developing that as far as we are able without losing connection with them. So some of the spirits you will be able to help go right into an emotion sometimes and actually progress through that method. Others, like this particular spirit, we're going to have to be more explanatory with, and we're going to have to help them with their intellect to come to see certain truths, and then connect them to some truths in the spirit world through that method.
The only time I was connected with a good spirit was with Katerina, when we had the channeling at her place here about a month ago. All of the other times, maybe that was a problem for me, that I was sat down. It was I was feeling that they were evil spirits.
Right, yeah.
So,
whereas I don't feel any spirit's really an evil spirit, in the sense that they do evil things. Many of the spirits still do evil things. But I don't have a feeling towards them of, you're evil, so I want to, stop you from speaking.
Afraid
to me.
of them.
Yeah, or afraid of them or anything like that. My feelings are more a feeling of love and concern for them. And so they can feel that. And if we maintain that point of contact with them, then we can help them develop and get out of their state, whatever their state is. So even these angry women spirits who are quite dark, we can assist them into progress, if they wish to be assisted to progress, of course, and if they don't wish to just damage people. But there has to be a point of contact that we can discuss with them. And I feel for them, many of them, the point of contact is what they believe me to be, which they believe me to be discussing things on with that group of spirits. Yeah.
And it's very valuable when you begin to speak to an earthbound spirit, because remember, there's so much effort from higher spheres to assist these spirits, but they're, for whatever reason, because of their resistance or fear, they're blocking that assistance. So when you're able to make contact with them, you can, if you work from their point of contact and just even enable them to have enough information to be open to looking up, if you like, that's a huge service that you do that you give to any spirit. Yeah.
So we would definitely like to thank Anto for doing that for us, even though he's away. And because that is with all of these interactions, what we find is not only does the spirit learn many things, but many of us learn many things in the process, right? We learn many things about spirits, we learn many things about people on earth, we learn many things about our emotions, we learn why things happen on earth, you know, and because of the different spirit influences that are there. We can see things from a spirit's perspective, which is a very interesting perspective sometimes to see things with. And in the process, learn a lot more about our own future, our potential futures. So there's a lot of blessings and benefits from these interactions.